Last time, we saw the arrival of our final villain, Cell. Or rather, Cell Max, made to destroy Cell and everyone around him, so nothing stands in the Red Ribbon Army's way. And it seems it's working so far. Cell Max seems too powerful to beat, especially because he's way different than the Cell Max that we knew. So how will this fight turn out? Will they figure out a way to defeat him, or is it too late? We'll be seeing all that and more in this finale of What If Cell Survived. The group continues their fight with the perfect Cell Max, now knowing that he can pretty much regenerate from anything. He does have a weak spot, but that doesn't seem to matter. Not only do they have to hit his weak spot, but they have to destroy every last bit of him, which is kind of tough considering how powerful he is. He regenerates basically as well as Boo does, if not better, especially because he also has infinite energy like some of the other androids. Even Gamma Prime is astonished. They never thought that he would be as strong, but at least the fused Gamma is actually working for the side of good. Cell Max, on the other hand, it seems like he's purely evil. They do destroy Cell Max again, and again, but they have to stop at some point. When they destroy him the second time, they try to get rid of every single cell, but that doesn't work, and he comes back stronger. Then they do that again. The third time seems like they came close, but even then a microscopic part of him survives, and if they keep doing this, he's just going to keep growing stronger. He can regenerate basically from nothing, and with infinite energy, it's not like this is ruining his stamina or anything. And obviously everyone in the group is trying to use all the power in their arsenal. Even if Vegeta and Goku were here, it probably wouldn't make a difference, especially because this is the strongest group here right now. And besides raw power, they're using all their other abilities. Obviously Gamma Prime can absorb energy, and Boo and Cell have access to magic, but Cell Max can use magic as well. And Gamma Prime's ability to absorb power does work pretty well here, but obviously Cell Max would know about it. Gamma Prime tries his best to absorb any of Cell's attacks, but it's hard when Cell Max specifically doesn't hit him with any key attacks. Especially because on top of that, it's hard for Gamma Prime to contain all the power that Cell Max gives him. He has to unleash it pretty much immediately, and it's not like it really does anything to Cell Max. It will hurt him, but he just regenerates from it. It's his own attack, it's not going to be strong enough to kill him. Unless he put all his energy into one of his attacks, Gamma Prime's attacks are pretty much useless. But Boo hatches a plan. It's a long shot, but they kinda did something like this before. They need an attack stronger than Cell Max. And they would think that their combined power is enough for that, but no, it isn't. Even with help from Cell, Gohan, and Piccolo, their collective power barely is enough to destroy him. Maybe if they knew the first time they would have been able to do so, but now that he's grown stronger from pretty much 3 different Zenkais, it's been made almost impossible. They need to somehow get enough power together to make one attack, one that's big enough to destroy every little bit of him, and one that's powerful enough to do so too. The only way to do that would be combining their power through unconventional means. Boo does consider sealing Cell like he did with Zamasu, but Cell has his own counters for that. Even though he didn't see it happen, if he sees it once, he'd probably be able to figure out how to escape from it. And it takes time to charge up anyways. But that also makes him think. There's one thing that he has that Cell doesn't know about. He has all of Boo's data, but he never saw Boo do this. And it was something else he did during that arc. Boo telepathically communicates with everyone, and he tells them not to freak out, just let this happen. This doesn't involve Gamma Prime though. Boo splits off very small pieces of himself, and they start creeping up the backs of Gohan, Piccolo, and Cell. He has to wait for the right moment. And that moment arrives. Cell Max charges an extremely powerful attack, and Gamma jumps in front of it, taking on all of its power, realizing that Boo needs some sort of distraction. As he was analyzing all of his allies here, he saw that very small chunk of Boo, and thinks that he's planning something. Gamma takes on all of this energy, and then flings it right back at Cell. Of course, Cell's not fazed by it, but it's enough to obscure his vision just for a little bit. Enough time for Boo to expand all his pieces out, and absorb everyone around him. And as the blast dissipates, Cell Max stands there triumphantly. He tells Gamma Prime this is fun. Maybe they can keep doing this. If they keep going back and forth, Cell Max will just grow stronger and stronger. Normally, Saiyans can't grow stronger from taking on their own attacks. But by giving it to Gamma Prime and then having it come back towards him, that basically negates that. He can use his own energy to grow stronger through Zenkais. It's amazing. But as he looks around, everyone's gone. And he tries to sense them, and he feels their presence somewhere nearby. He sees Boo there, but 3 of the others have disappeared. And he feels all of their energy from where Boo is standing for some reason. And Boo has his back turned to Cell, slowly turning his head around and smiling. He doesn't look different, but Cell notices his antenna's gotten a lot longer, like to the point where it's dragging behind him. And he's slightly grown in size, getting a few feet taller, with a strange glow around him as he shrinks back down to his normal size. He's already happy with the way he looks, so he's not going to change that. And Cell Max asks what he's done. And where did the others go? Boo's smile grows even more. This just proves everything that he needs to know. If Cell Max truly had all of Boo's data, he'd know about what just happened. He says his allies were gracious enough to give their power to him. Cell, Piccolo, and Gohan are inside of Boo right now. A small aura grows around Boo, then rapidly and explosively expanding outwards. Cell Max even shields his eyes from this. This power, where did it come from? He can't even look directly at Boo because now he's so bright and the wind is so powerful, he can't keep his eyes open. But he can barely see something around him that looks familiar, that same aura that he has. And then the aura calms down a bit. Boo says if Cell Max is going to use everyone's powers, he's going to even the playing field a bit. Instantaneously, dozens of other Boos appear around him. An army of Boos attacks Cell Max. At first he's not too fazed, he simply activates Ultra Instinct, dodging all of their attacks. But then he remembers, Boo had the same aura as him for some reason. And if he truly does have all their powers, that must mean he has Ultra Instinct too. It takes Boo a bit to get adjusted to this power, so Cell is able to dodge all of his attacks at first. But then he's hit by one, then another, then a couple dozen, and then basically within an instant, Boo grows so much in strength that Cell Max is hit thousands of times. Boo then even tries something else that he hasn't used in a while, trying to activate Hit's time skip again. As if Cell Max wasn't already having enough trouble with Boo, now he's time skipping, that same ability that he copied from Hit. And all the Boos merge back together, still continuously hitting Cell with attacks. Gamma Prime can't even keep track of what's going on, but then he feels a hand on his shoulder, turning around to see another Boo behind him, with Boo explaining that it's already over. They watch as Cell Max is rapidly taking attacks. It's almost like disembodied hands from Boo are flying around him because he's moving so quickly. But Cell draws his arms inwards, charging energy and then blowing it all out, leveling the entire area in an effort to throw Boo back. But Boo stands there in front of him completely unfazed by the attack. He didn't think getting power from his allies would be enough for this. And then he sees that wasn't any normal explosion. Cell Max completely blew himself up, but he regenerates, dozens of them in fact. An army of Cell Maxes swirls around Boo, each quickly charging a Kamehameha and launching it towards him. Boo simply waits for the right moment, and then grows dozens of arms. One arm for each attack coming towards him. He sticks the hand out from each arm, grabbing onto each blast and actually containing it. The arms then all merge back together, leaving him only with two arms, holding all the power of Cell's attacks together. And he cocks his arm back like he's about to throw it back at Cell, but right before he launches it, he teleports right above Cell, chuckling a bit and saying he fell for it, launching the blast point blank at his weak spot. Not only is it all of Cell Max's power in there, but he adds a little bit of his own. As Boo launches the blast, Cell Max continuously tries to regenerate, again and again and again, even growing stronger amidst it, but it's not working, as Boo puts more and more energy into it. And Cell screams throughout all of it, saying that he won't stop regenerating. His nucleus is infinitely small and incredibly durable. It's engineered so he can never be destroyed. And no matter what Boo does, it's not gonna work. Boo wishes he had access to the Hakai so he could just destroy him permanently. But of course, Beerus still doesn't want him on his planet. Well, there is another way to do this. At first he didn't want to do this because he thought it wouldn't work, but he might as well. Cell Max doesn't even notice that the entire time, something was creeping up his leg. It's a piece of Boo that he split off before. And once again, Boo completely destroys Cell Max, and then expands that piece of him outwards. A couple of the cells try to regenerate, but they're caught by Boo, as that little piece of him is encased with all his ki, and sealed with his magic too. Without any other option, Boo decides to absorb it. Gamma Prime is blinded by a brilliant glow of light. The sky clears up too. The area is completely flattened, but now calm. All the people that were inside of Boo just now are now out. They're on the ground unconscious. But they wake up and see Boo standing there, looking content. They ask what he did with Cell Max, and he tells them not to worry. It seemed like he truly couldn't destroy Cell Max. If he had the ability to erase things, maybe he could. He was borderline immortal. But there was one other way for him to do this. Not only did he seal Cell Max away, but he absorbed him too. Those last few cells that were left of him that were trying to regenerate, Boo locked those away completely. They're dormant, and Boo is drawing out all the power from them for himself. Cell Max can't be freed. Not even if Boo dies. They're merged together now. He basically became a seal for Cell Max, while also gaining all of his power too from it. This is the birth of a brand new Boo. This is Boo Max, with Cell Max now being indefinitely dormant within him, and making Boo the strongest of the entire group. Cell then laughs it off. Maybe if he were the real deal, with that type of power, he could have won here. But he was simply a fake Cell. And Gohan commends Cell on his effort there. It looks like his training has really paid off. This whole time he was training to protect Earth from Cell in case he ever came back. And of course, he eventually did, but as a different person. Although even with Cell himself changing, it seems another Cell came anyways. That training was all worth it in the end. But Cell tells Gohan again that guy was a faker. He's right here. Don't be so sentimental or whatever. But Gohan knows that Cell thinks it's true too. And obviously Piccolo sees it as well. Cell just fought off what he can basically consider the embodiment of his old self. Cell Max was Cell. Gamma Prime then defuses himself. Which is weird because they thought that would just be a permanent fusion, but no. Dr. Hedo then flies over, thankfully having defeated Magenta and Carmine himself. Glad to see his creations are fine. At least his good ones, the two actual superheroes. A few days pass and eventually Whis and Beerus do find out about this. Cell and Piccolo were gone for a while after all, so of course they were wondering what was happening. And it makes Beerus think a bit. He wants to see Cell and Gohan face each other. It's been a while after all. Especially now that they each have their own new powers. It could be a fun rematch, and Cell's confident that he'll win this time. So the two get ready for another match. And it's not like they pace themselves either. They immediately go into their full power. Gohan activates Beast, then surrounded by the aura of blue, turning into Final Gohan. And Cell immediately goes to Ultra Instinct. But he knows that Cell has more strength locked away. That's not simply just Ultra Instinct, which is crazy to even say because Ultra Instinct itself is a huge feat. To think that Cell's made it his own and made it basically something different. You can even see that Cell can barely contain the power. He has that same Ultra Instinct aura, but it's almost like he's summoning the power of everything within him. Frieza, Piccolo, his Saiyan side as well. Sparks of electricity dart around him, and the aura takes on a weird shape. It's not even fair to just call it Ultra Instinct. This is Cell's Ultra Instinct, his own personal version of it. And seeing this reminds Beerus why he started training again. He does need to get more serious though, since all the others are getting ahead. And this fight will show him how much they've truly grown. Of course, Goku's been here the entire time too, and he's proud to see how strong everyone's grown. He still does have a lot of work to do to catch up, but Super Saiyan 4 should help, especially with his access to Godly Ki now. Although he's had to spend a lot of time on Earth too because he had a lot of catching up to do there as well, now that he's alive and all. But Vegeta says that he's making good progress, although Kakarot's still going to need to surpass him in Ultra Ego first, which kind of bums Goku out because he thinks it's going to take way too long. Oh well, at least he has like 2 decades on Vegeta in terms of lifespan. He's as old as he was during the Cell Saga basically. Being dead wasn't so bad. And you know what, maybe he will be able to catch up to Vegeta and surpass him. But for now it's time to just watch what Cell and Gohan are capable of. A battle begins between the two. Although it's kinda hard to just contain it on this planet. Thankfully Cell could already breathe in space, and he gives Gohan a little bit of a present. He tells him to wait a bit as he then sticks a hand out, with a strange field of energy surrounding Gohan. There, utilizing his magic, he basically gave Gohan his own way to breathe in space. Although it's not permanent, so don't go using it after this fight. The two rocket up into the sky as everyone else follows, with Whis creating a bubble so anyone that can't breathe in space can go out there, which is just Piccolo, Vegeta, and Goku. Although even though they go into space and try and follow the fight, it's going too quick for them. Vegeta can barely keep up. Goku can't really tell what's happening at all, he just sees flashes of light. Beerus can keep up with it, but even for him this feels fast-paced. He knows they're above him by now, but by how much? Although there's one person that's keeping up with this effortlessly, it's Boo. Which is weird for him because ever since he got this power, he never realized how strong he truly grew. He's gonna have to test it out someday, but he doesn't think there's anyone to test it out against. Although these two are good candidates. Gohan and Cell's fight takes them across the entirety of Universe 7, moving so quickly that they hop between galaxies. Although Whis does warn them, don't go too quickly or else they're gonna go into another universe on accident. And Beerus repeats the same thing, yelling at them this time. He doesn't want to piss off the other gods of destruction. Gohan does take this advice, but Cell then laughs it off. They don't really need to listen to him. He reminds Gohan they can beat those gods of destruction if they really wanted to. What are they gonna do against them? Well, yeah, that is true. Although Gohan says it's basically out of respect for them. He doesn't want to piss them off for no reason. And Cell tells Gohan he's just as lame as ever. He's gotta have fun once in a while. Those gods probably won't even notice anyways. Cell then vanishes from sight, as he then hops into other universes basically on his own. Well, looks like Gohan has no choice now, so he just follows Cell, with them hopping around the multiverse. And the other gods of destruction do notice, but they see that it's basically Gohan trying to bring Cell back to their universe, with Gohan reminding Cell that there is still Zeno to worry about. Oh, yeah, that's true. The fight comes back to their universe, and both of them are growing throughout the battle. But it starts becoming clear, there is a small gap in power. One of them is ahead of the other, by a very minuscule amount. But with them both growing during battle, the one that's ahead, he keeps growing stronger. The gap is slowly widening, and the stronger fighter is able to outpace the other. Beerus, Whis, and Boo can tell who it is, and the fight's nearly at its end. Gohan floats at one end of the universe, and Cell floats at the end of the other. They each charge one last bit of energy, launching in towards each other, moving at unfathomable speeds. So quick that barely any time has passed when they collide at the center of the universe. Although they kinda have to pull their punch here so they don't destroy everything. But one person comes out ahead. As Whis brings everyone over there, they see Gohan floating there unconscious, with Cell also floating there above him, breathing heavily, with a smile on his face too. He's done it. He's beaten Gohan. Although, it's not as satisfying because he does know that there is someone above him still. Boo. And that's the whole reason Boo is on this planet in the first place. Normally he wouldn't be allowed on Beerus' planet. And Beerus immediately sees it's a bad idea because Boo's already hogging all the food. And Beerus really needs to train more so he can teach this guy a lesson, since Boo maxes beyond everyone else. Even if he tried to make Gohan or Cell do something, they probably couldn't. And all this does make Boo very happy, although he's not going to be too much of an ass to Beerus. Yes, he does eat a lot of food, but he could also create food out of pretty much nothing, launching a candy beam at a rock and turning it into candy. You know what? Beerus might have been wrong about this guy. Maybe he should have had Boo on this planet a lot sooner. Cell nudges Boo saying that he's been trying to put a good word in for him, but now it looks like all three of them are so powerful they could pretty much do whatever they want. Which is also kind of concerning because one of those people is Cell, and this is just more of a reason for Gohan to continue growing stronger. He doesn't think that Cell's gonna do anything. Obviously by now he's basically one of their allies, but Piccolo reminds Gohan, they never know. At the very least, it could be a rivalry that pushes him further, and it looks like that rivalry is developed a long time ago, continuing to grow to this day. And with that, we end off this series. What did you guys think about this finale, and what about the series as a whole? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It shows me you like scenarios like this and it really does help out the channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario all the way through, and I'll see you all in my next video.